Great dragon, glorious warlord. Once more you return from the battlefield red with the blood of slain adversaries. And let me tell you, these victories of yours have not gone by unnoticed. In fact, to my great satisfaction, another pair of dauntless generals has joined our company. 4 military masterminds are now on board, more than enough to start a campaign of conquest on a truly grand scale. No doubt you're as anxious to meet them as they are to meet you. So why don't you go to the throne room, where I've instructed them to await your arrival? Heavens no! You have the military firmly on your side, but civil emissaries too are bound to join our cause in due time. Indeed, I expect you will be declared emperor before long. Yes, you heard me correctly, emperor. It is inevitable. People have heard of you, the dragon, their one hope of deliverance from war, oppression, and death. Soon hope will turn into confidence, and when ambassadors of the civilized races flock to the Raven, your political career will commence. You yourself will of course represent all humans, but the dwarves, elves, lizards, imps, and undead will want their say as well, and more. Still, let us worry about politics later. Today, it is your generals that count.
My Lord Dragon, allow me to present your team of generals. Edmund you already know, but I now have the pleasure of introducing you to Her Highness Lady Catherine, Queen of Westbridge, and Scarlet, not noble of birth, but the more so of heart. We 4 have pledged we will stand by you in your conquest as a rightful heir to Revlon's throne. Bastard no longer, you shall be known as Commander, until the day comes that you shall be king. All hail the dragon!
Hail! Hail!
Yes, well, hail.
Yes, Commander. Seemed hardly proper to call you by that particular pet name on what was somewhat of an official occasion. But don't worry, I may still slip up once or twice, even though my respect for you is in fact growing. You've got a knack for bloody brutal battle, and faint heart never won fair victory.
How's it hanging, Commander? I'm Scarlet, and you're a dragon, they tell me. Always wanted to ride one of those, though I bet you're a little harder to handle than a horse. All part of the fun, though, I reckon, so give me a shout when I can take you for a spin. Treat me mean, I'll scratch your eyes out. Treat me well, and I'll purr like a kitten. Your choice, Commander.
I would say it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Commander, but as it stands, I must approach you with a bit of reserve. True, to know we have a dragon knight for a leader is a great relief, for such a grand creature inspires bravado in the many hearts that will have to be won so that we may overthrow the spreading dark. But then again, you are the offspring, the male offspring to boot, of a sorry line prone to decadence and corruption. The very line, in fact, that is responsible for the downfall of the Empire in the first place. Forgive me then if I do wonder, will this commander pass muster? Earn his wings? Earn his crown? Because they call us females the fairer sex. But in truth, we are also more cunning, resilient, refined, and downright intelligent. Give an empire a queen, I say, and it will be ruled. Give it a king, and it will become an afterthought. For like any man, he is content when both his belly and his bed are filled with a prize piece of tender flesh. No more. Men are simple creatures, Commander, and should therefore be in charge of simple things only.
It's going to take some getting used to, you know, to call you Commander. Verily, I was rather opposed to the notion, but Maxos in his infinite wisdom insisted we up the level of common courtesy toward you. Commoner would have done. Commander, though, it shall be. As much as it is in the eagle's nature to look down upon the world in hunt of lesser creatures, it is my genius that makes me soar high above all others. Lesser creatures indeed. At the lone top do I reside, but I would have it no other way. Those who do not understand, all but everyone, calls me a loner, thinking the word to be a pejorative. But it is on the contrary glorious to live in sweet isolation when all around you non-lizards, that is to say, inferiors, skitter and crawl like vermin. I am a solitudinarian, for my nature makes me so. And when I do have contact with those I loathe, inevitably I talk down to them as it is impossible to communicate on a level of equality when there is none to be had.
It's wondrous, my lord. Wondrous. The raven, she speaks to me in my dreams. Indeed she does, my lord. A soft voice sings inside my head, but only when I'm in the land of eyes shut and mind at rest. There, she guides me to glory. Shows me things not even wizards could dream of. We'll forge like not even a dwarf can, my lord.
use too much fuel?
We need more recruits, Commander.
Won't that use too much fuel? Yeah, I love traveling. Won't that use too much fuel? If you really think this is our last resort.
I've got big guns and I cannot lie.
Yeah, I love traveling.
No one escapes the twins.
It'll be built in a jiffy.
Our glory foretold. Big guy coming through.
Enemy troopers can now capture our buildings.
I will drench their torn banner in blood. I will drench their torn banner in blood. I've got big guns and I cannot lie. Of course, my lord. We fight for freedom. Of course, my lord. We fight for freedom. The best way to see Riverland is through the crosshairs of my double barrel. No one escapes the twins.
That's impossible, Commander.
All is ours for the taking. I will drench their torn banner in blood. All is ours for the taking. Big guy coming through. best way to see Rivellon is through the crosshairs of my double barrel. Who will break? Who will bend? Of course, my lord. We fight for freedom. Our glory foretold. I will drench their torn banner in blood. Big guy coming through. All is ours for the taking. Drench their torn banner in blood. All is ours for the taking.
Factory completed. Unit is being manufactured, Commander.
Of course, my lord. We fight for freedom. Our glory foretold. Our glory foretold. All is ours for the taking. The Emperor will prevail.
That's impossible, Commander.
Our glory foretold.
Construction in progress. Enemy grenadiers have been equipped with enhanced explosives.
We're getting pinned here. All is ours for the taking. The best way to see Rivellon is through the crosshairs of my double barrel. Of course, my lord. We fight for freedom. Big guy coming through. Where's the target practice? Cover me with death if I should fail. Big guy coming through. We're getting pinned here. Our glory foretold.
That's not good.
Armor is weakening, sire.
Construction underway, Commander.
The Emperor will prevail.
War factory completed.
Of course, my lord. We fight for freedom.
Unit is being manufactured, Commander.
The best way to see Rivellon is through the crosshairs of my double barrel. I will drench their torn banner in blood. All is ours for the taking. All is ours for the taking.
Unit is being manufactured, Commander.
All is ours for the taking.
No doubt you've had an eventful and successful day so far, but don't rest on your laurels just yet. For I'm here to inform you the councillors have arrived, the ambassadors of the races whom you'll have to duel and deal with in the political arena. Such is both the prerogative and the burden of an emperor-to-be. You may think your first duty is that of conquest, to bring the war to as swift an end as possible. But I'm afraid there is much more to being a monarch than military matters alone. As a commander, as an emperor, you'll have to constantly endeavor to find that delicate balance between your roles as strategist and statesman, for the one necessarily influences the other. Now, you may consider it strange that some will worry about the price of bread and others will gripe about taxes, when all around us, machines of war threaten the existence of the very realm. But if you give it a moment's further thought, this is only logical. We may find ourselves trapped amid a conflict of gargantuan proportions. But that does not mean the average man worries most about feeding his family, about the little things that make for a happy life. And when you have been given an empire, Commander, you have to be responsible for every matter, every obstacle, every creature, great and small. This may seem daunting, but I have never and never will doubt for even an instant that you, of all people, will rise to the occasion. Your counselors await you in the throne room, Commander. Godspeed.
Aha! Shush, everyone, shush! Here comes the long-awaited commander. The dragon that would deliver us from vile usurpers. The one deserving heir to Rivellon's throne. Let me cut right to the chase, Commander, for I'm not a man who takes pride in his words, but in his pragmatism, rather. The entire realm is under siege, and the free peoples left need a strong leader. One who inspires. You see, there may be a war going on, Commander, but that doesn't mean you don't have a realm to rule. Oftentimes, political concerns will take precedence over military ones, no matter how trivial they may sometimes seem in these dark times. As much as possible, where your rule has been established, everyday life must continue like it would in times of peace, and everyday life concerns itself with everyday worries. The people will look to you for guidance in these matters. We, as their representatives, have witnessed your triumphs with mounting awe, and have agreed you are to be the one, the hero, who shall both restore the kingdom and recommence the workings of government. I therefore declare you Emperor. Long live the Emperor! Long live the Emperor!
May the Seven be praised now that we have found our champion and our Emperor. May the fire of the dragon obliterate every heretic in its way. May the light of the gods illuminate your soul. The highest. We are the chosen of the Seven, Commander. We are those that have known death, have walked its black shores, but then have been restored to life. You think you are alive now, Commander, but you are not. You are but in the phase of flesh. Yet if you are devout and sweat in service of the Seven, you too, after the Dark Mother has lulled you to sleep, may be plucked from the dales of shadow and given the perpetuity of the bone. Do well by the gods, Commander, and you'll do well by us, as well as all in the realm. We have many proposals to that effect, which I will bring before you in due time. So say I, Yorick, humble servant of the Seven.
Honored to meet you, Commander. I am Oberon, envoy of the elves, ambassador of the beasts, spokesman of plants, here in the hope that our new emperor will treat majestic Rivellon with the reverence she deserves, even in these times of frightful war. Well, Commander, if elves were the only race to have become what they misnomer civilized, this globe and all upon it would exist in a paradise of such perfection the gods need not create for us a heaven. Such, alas, is the fiction, not the reality. Others, less scrupulous in the handling of natural beauty, have risen to prominence. They hack and mine, blast, drain, and usurp. As much as we can, we condemn and attempt to stop their misguided endeavors. We are the Green Mothers, unwavering paladins. and it is our fondest desire you, Commander, will join our ranks. Defend nature, and defend the little man, for they will in turn defend you. A happy people, one with the wilds, will fight for its country with redoubled zeal. To that effect, I hope we'll have your backing.
Isn't this a world gone topsy-turvy? I've declared you Emperor, and you don't even know my name. Sir Falstaff Silvervein, Commander. Born and bred neath the Emerald Mountains. There. Now that we've been acquainted, I do declare it's time for a beer. A prouder folk you'll ne'er meet, Commander, nor a more robust one. Best allies an aspiring king can have, for our love of gold and all things precious is legendary, and gold is what an emperor needs if it be conquest that takes his fancy. So listen when I give advice, for your economy will prosper by it. Liquid gold, of course, is another of our pride and joys. For ale a sparkle, we'd go to war. But our families, above all, Commander, are holy. Those manifold kernels that band together, and like the rings that form a chain mail, shape a society that is stout and steadfast. Yes, dwarven families grow as plenty as the grain on 1,000 wheat fields. And just like grain, it is from them that we derive the bread that nourishes civilization, and the beer that quenches its thirst.
By the powers vested in me by the great lizard lords, I, Prosper, endorse your newfound emperorship. Sorely we are in need of a dragon commander. We are not a people that make great demands, Commander. We simply hold many a thing dear without succumbing to the excess of it. The dwarves revere their gold to such an extent it becomes a fetish. Elves abide so strictly by nature they become her slaves. We like gold, for it is an economical mast. We like nature, for she sustains us. Yet none of the two we idolize. Reason and liberty, those are our bywords. Territories we defend valiantly. Territories, alas, easily encroached upon, for emperors tend to curtail them. Our ideal is therefore not a monarchy, but a republic. Think on that, Commander, as you pursue the throne.
By Grumio's gadgets, it's a pleasure indeed to shake hands with you, Commander. Your technician is my nephew, don't you know? And I am Trunculo Shortfuse, son of Trunculo Even Shorter Fuse. Praised be the dragon! Ha! You want gizmos? You want imps. You want the unthinkable? You want imps. You want great, big, loud, bright fire explosions? Lords above, it's imps you want. We live for all that is new and shiny. The old, we blow it up. The new, we study it for a while before we blow it up. Why? Because there's always something even newer waiting around the corner. Science, Great Dragon, never sits still. Try, investigate, experiment. And with a bit of luck, boom! Ha ha ha! A bigger bang than ever. On a more serious note though, Commander, science is indeed our passion. And we hope that under your rule, we will be free to explore its limits. Damn the gods, for there are none, and damn petty morality, for it is a brake on progress. Back us, and we'll craft you miracles.
Oh, lovely to see you, my lord. Can get a bit lonely here on the engineering bay. Well, my lord, when your good father and Maxos first started to conquer the world with their fancy machines, we Emps were mesmerised. None of us cared if we were being drafted into a strange warlord's empire, for if those were the weapons he wielded, we were all ready to welcome him with open arms. By golly, were we ever. Steam-driven giants on land, on sea, even in air. Oh, the ecstasy! Such wonders, such ingenuity, and jeepers, what cannons! Ever since then, some 30 years hence, us imps have dedicated our existence to the advancement of these delightful machines. Now, before those blessed days arrived, people regarded us as eccentric gnomes taken to experimenting with flame, gas and liquid like so many charlatan alchemists. But those days are over. We are scientists now, famed and fortuitous. And truth be told, though, we've never quite given up our love for all things combustible. Rather on the contrary. Not that you mind, do you, my lord? We'll forge like not even a dwarf can, my lord. Grumio the Greek, right-o, my lord.
What a sorry excuse for a general Henry is. Drunk as a dwarf again, going on and on about his lost arm. The more liquor disappears down his throat, the more he can still feel it. Wish he had a phantom tongue instead of a phantom limb. The place would be so much quieter.
Commander, it is imperative that we should win the war. For our enemies are godless heathens in need of annihilation. To hasten this process, I therefore propose we introduce conscription. For why have young, able-bodied men sit around or do menial tasks when they could be serving in your armies instead? Commander, it is
Commander, even the most peace-loving elf won't deny that in these dark times of war, allowances have to be made which we would otherwise condemn. Conscription, though, goes too far. Let those that wish to fight for our cause do so, but let's not force men away from their families if they feel it is their duty to stand by them.
Conscription may have somewhat of an ill ring to it, Commander, but it might be worth consideration nonetheless. There's not a dwarf that won't take up his axe for the Empire, but elves! A three-fingered man could number their volunteers on one hand.
I don't think conscription is a very good idea, Commander. Not only should a life of soldiery be an individual's choice rather than an obligation, but by drafting so many young men into the army, you're draining our economical reserves. So please don't forget your political obligations because of your military ones.
Here's an imp's perspective, Commander. More soldiers equals bigger battles, and bigger battles equals more explosions. Win-win. Granted, it's a bit of a simplistic perspective, but imps will have their fun, you know.
Bravo, Commander. Nothing like fresh blood to reinvigorate the military. A lot of it will be spilled, yes, but in service of the Seven, that is an honor, not a sacrifice.
You are too harsh a man, Commander. Think about the consequences of conscription. There will be cases of conscientious objection, desertion, thereby execution. So much drama for the sake of a few extra soldiers.
Good. Fair's fair, Commander. Oberon and his kin deserve to make a bit of an extra effort, and if they don't make for good cannoneers, at least they'll make for proper cannon fodder.
I think you're making a mistake, Commander, but so be it. A generation will march to war. How many will return, I wonder?
Wonderful. I knew you'd be swayed by the arithmetic of detonation. A child could do the math, and a child would be equally delighted by the outcome.
Were that I were the monarch and you the general. I'd kill for one of your powers, whereas you hardly have need of us. If you weren't a dragon, we wouldn't stand a chance. So buckle up, Commander, for our endeavor stands or falls with you.
Well, 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 the Dragon Commander himself. Come, sit, drink with me. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. He's had a few too many. But you take to the right too if you had an imp apparatus for an arm. Never 'twas during the great and glorious last stand to save the Empire. Horseshit! We fought like lions so that the king, your bloody father, could scarper with what riches he could hold. But my soldiers did their duty. They died where they stood, and I was left for dead, want of an eye and an arm. Not that any of it mattered. The king's head was shown decorating a stake, like star crowns will the pines come midwinter night. Defeat. Bah! Luckily, a touch of the malt can relieve its bitter taste. You have the respect of Maxos, and that certainly speaks in your favor. But you'll need to come a long way yet to prove unto me you're not just another pampered prince he yanked away from his mother's teat. So what'll you have then? Mead or milk?
Our victory was so complete I can taste it. You did well by us, Commander. We have but begun, Commander, but looking back, beginnings are always the most exciting. About whom, Commander? Excellent chap, that one. Likes his jokes dirty and his liquor plenty. 2 peas in a pod, me and him. Or on and off, that is. Can fight like a demon unleashed as well. Best to have him on our side.
rely upon Edmund's